Hello, this lecture is about poetry for children by Dr. Soh Meacham. There are many types of poetry. This lecture will introduce 8 different types, including nursery rhyme, narrative poem, verse novels, limerick, haiku, concrete poem, free verse, and golden shovel. You may know many nursery rhymes already. They are traditional poems or songs for children from the late 18th or early 19th century. They're rhythmic and often use rhymes. A very well-known nursery rhyme, Hickory Dickory Dock, exhibits a form of limerick. Free verse is a popular style of modern poetry. Free verse poems do not conform to a formal structure. They do not necessarily have rhythm and rhyme schemes. They can have as many lines or stanzas as the poet wants. A narrative poem tells a story. It makes the voices of a narrator and characters, including action and dialogue. Narrative poems do not need rhymes. Some of them are short and some of them are long. Verse novels are novels written in a form of narrative poetry rather than prose. Usually there are novel-length narratives. Crossover by Kwame Alexander is a great example of verse novels. Limericks are often favored by children, maybe because they are humorous and rhythmic. A limerick consists of 5 lines and exhibits a strict rhyme scheme of AABBA. So the first, second, and fifth line rhyme, while the third and fourth lines are shorter and share a different rhyme. Haiku is an ancient form of Japanese poetry. A haiku consists of just 3 lines. The first and third lines have 5 syllables, and the second has 7. A Japanese haiku on the slide shows this structure. Haikus don't have to rhyme. Children can create a haiku about any themes from their own daily lives, making it with some humor can be fun for children. For instance, a haiku titled School reads as follows. My homework is late. Dog ate it before breakfast. Very helpful dog. Concrete poems arrange text in certain patterns or shapes. The visual appearance of a concrete poem matches the subject matter of the poem. Here is a great example of concrete poem titled Tree by J. Patrick Lewis. Tree, tall giraffe, up to his neck, in brown and yellow patchwork quilts, turns and hobbles away on wooden stilts, tail. The text of the poem is arranged in the shape of a giraffe. The description of the top part of the giraffe is located on the neck and above in the image. The body part of the image describes the patchwork pattern that the giraffe has. 4 legs are drawn as 4 stilts. Letters for tail are arranged in the form of tail. This highly creative form of poem can be used to develop children's creativity. Creating children's own concrete poems can be a fun classroom activity. Golden shovel is a poetic form that honors another poet's work. The Sculptor by Nikki Grimes is a great example of golden shovel. Nikki Grimes is a distinguished poet, although she honors another great poet, Georgia Douglas Johnson's Calling Dreams. As you can see her poem on the slide, the last word of each line is bold-faced. Reading those bold-faced words from top to bottom, you can discover the first line from Calling Dreams by Johnson. Here are some evaluation criteria for children's poetry. A fresh or original view of the subject should be presented. Insight or emotion is shown or felt. Poetic devices should be used effectively. Language should be used effectively. The voice or persona of the poem should be sincere. There are many illustrated poetry books. In that case, illustration quality also needs to be considered. The illustrations should match the tone of the poetry, whether it be silly, lyrical, playful, or startling. The illustration should encourage children to make their own interpretation of the poems. There are many notable living poets for children ages 3 to 13 who are recognized by National Council of Teachers of English. So far, I have introduced a few poems of some of those poets with the NCTE Award for Excellence in Poetry for Children, such as Alois Greenfield, Nikki Grimes, and J. Patrick Lewis. Those poems definitely excel in the evaluation criteria on this slide. According to Cutiper and Wilson's study, children preferred poems with rhyme, rhythm, and sound. While some types of poetry such as haiku and free verse are children's least favorite, there are some ways to help children to develop some taste for them. McNair says that we can select poems in these forms on topics that children do like. For instance, sharing a haiku about a dog or a free verse poem about candies can be a strategy. Thank you for watching this lecture about poetry for children. I hope you can help your children to appreciate many different types of poetry.